I have orders table and date table. I'll bring both orders table and date table together. Along with the orders table, I'll bring the date table also. Click on get data. Excel. Click on load. As soon as you get the date table, first thing you need to do is you need to mark the table as date table. Go to the date table, right click on it. You'll find an option called mark as date table. Click on it. Choose the date column, which will satisfy the three conditions. Just press OK. I marked it as date table. Now let's go here. So now I want to create a visual to show year-wise sales. I said that when I have a date table, when I have a transaction table, when you want to show year-wise sales, here you need to take it from date table, and sales you need to take it from orders table. Whenever you have date table, from date table you need to take all the date related columns. So if you want to create a visual using these two tables, you need to establish the link. I need to show order date wise sales. Drag and drop it here. Order date wise sales. So I established the relationship here based on order date column and date column. Perfect. Now if you want to show order date wise sales, total sales is 2.3 million. I want to show what are the orders that was placed on 2014. What is the sales amount you are getting? What are the orders that was placed on 2015? What is the sales amount you are getting? I need to show order date year wise sales. Take one visual, just go to the dim date table, drag the year, and go to the sales table, drag the sales, which can show order date year wise sales. Yes, is it showing there? Yes. In 2014, what are the orders was placed? What is the sales amount? And total is 2.3. Now I want to show ship date year wise sales. When you want to show ship date year wise sales, so this time we need to have the link between date column and ship date column. We need to go and establish the link between date column and ship date column here. So in the orders table, there is a ship date column. I need to have the link between date column and ship date column. Then only I can show ship date year wise sales. So when I want to establish the relationship, select the ship date column, drag and drop one date column. When I try to do that, I got inactive relationship. The dotted line, we call it as inactive relationship. The bold line, we call it as active relationship. Between date and order date, you have bold line. This is active relationship. Between ship date and date, you have dotted line. That is nothing but inactive relationship. When you create any visual using these two tables, always it will give the data based on active relationship. The visual will always give the data based on active relationship only. When I go here, this will show only order date year wise sales. I said that when I want to show ship date year wise sales here, so when I want to show ship date year wise sales, what I need to do? To show ship date year wise sales, you need to go and make this relationship active. So go to manage relationship and you need to make it active. So when I try to make the second relationship active, it is giving a message. There is already an active relationship between orders table and date table. You cannot have another active relationship, it is telling. It is not possible to have another active relationship. They are telling that either make it first relationship inactive. When I make first relationship inactive, both are what this time? Both relationships are inactive relationships. What data you will see? Wrong data I'm seeing in the visual. It is telling that 2011 we're getting 2.3 million sales. This is completely wrong data. Why? We don't have a proper relationship here, active relationship. When you want to show ship date year by sales, go to manage. So you need to make it active. This time it will allow. This is my first active relationship. This time it will allow. Click on close. Once you click on close, look at this. This time it is active based on what? Ship date. Look at ship date and data. Ship date and date have the active relationship. Now what data it will show? Ship date year by sales. Go and look at the difference. Both will show the different data. This is showing 2014 4,84,000. Orders which was placed on 2014 4,84. Orders which was shipped on 2014 4,70. 4,70. So some orders which was placed on 2014, they might be shipped on 2015. That is the reason you are seeing a less number. So completely this is different figures. It is showing different figures, right? I want to show both of them side by side. Year by sales, order date year by sales in one visual, ship date year by sales in another visual. I need to show side by side. How can you show side by side? To show them side by side, so you need to maintain two active relationships. There is two workarounds, guys. In these cases, we have two workarounds. So we know between two tables, we can have only one active relationship. We can have only one active relationships. And when you create any visual on the two tables, it will give the data based on active relationship. When we create visuals on two tables, it will give the data based on active relationship, guys. It will give the data based on active relationship. Active relationship. Whatever the active relationship we have, based on that active relationship, it will give the data. When we create a visual on two tables, it will give the data based on active relationship. Fine. Now, so I want both order date, ship date. We have two workarounds to it. I want to show order date year by sales, order date year, and I want to show the sales. Same way I want to show ship date year, and I want to show sales, guys. Ship date year, and I want to show sales here. Ship date year and sales. When you want to show both order date and ship date year by sales, how can I show it? There are two workarounds to do that. The first workaround is, so you can bring the dim date table one more time. The same dim date table I can bring one more time. How can you bring dim date table one more time? So get data, Excel, dim date, click on open. Load. So once after bringing the dim date table one more time, let me keep this side. And what I will do is, so I'll rename this table. I'll rename this table. Just go to the table, rename it. Right click, rename the table. I'll use it for ship date, dim date for ship date. I'm just renaming it to ship date. What I'll do this time is, I'll delete relationships here. Right click, delete. So for order date, I'll use, and once you bring the date table, you want to even mark this table as date table. Right click on it, mark as date table, mark as date table. How many date tables you are going to bring? You need to mark it. Go to the date, click on OK. You bought it on, right? So I have two tables here now. Now between these two tables, I'll establish the relationship between order date and data. And between these two tables, I'll establish the relationship based on ship date and data. Ship date and data. Date column, I'll drag it to ship date. Now, you look at this, both have active relationships now. Both, this is having an active relationship. Why? Because this is the first relationship between these two tables. This is active relationship. Now when I want to show order date year wise sales, I want to take year from this, I want to take sales from this. If you want order date wise data, if you want ship date wise data, you want to take year from this, you want to take sales from this. Simple. Just go here. So this is creating based on dim date and orders table. When you create a visual based on dim date and dim date and sale orders, it will show order date year wise sales, order date year wise sales. Now when I want ship date year wise sales, what I can do? Simply go and take another visual. This time drag the year from dim date for ship date. Drag the sales from orders table. Drag the sales from orders table. It will show ship date year wise sales. Ship date year wise sales. Right? Perfect, guys. Now you're showing order date year wise sales and ship date year wise sales. I'm fine now. I got my requirement. In this requirement, the problem is when you bring the table one more time into the Power Pivot model, it will occupy the space. It will occupy the space. What it is doing here? You bought the table one more time. It is occupying some space. So I don't have much space to create multiple date dimension tables. Take an example. I don't have much space to create multiple date dimensions. So our first approach is bring the date table one more time. The second one is bring the date table one more time. The second one is I don't have the space, and there is one function with the name use relationship function. You can get it using use relationship function. Use relationship function. Let me show you. So how to get it? I will delete this. I'll go and delete this visual for now. So I'll go and even delete this table. I don't want it. So delete from the model. So how can you delete the table in the Power Pivot? It's just right click on it, delete from the model. I can delete it. Plus delete. Now what I can do is I can use use relationship function. First, what I need to do is I need to establish an inactive relationship here. Ship date and date. Based on ship date and date, I establish an inactive relationship first. Once after establishing inactive relationship, I can write a formula now. So when I write, click on orders table, when I click on new measure, I'll create a measure to show sum of sales. To show sum of sales, what is the formula? Sum function sales. So when you drag this measure, what it will show? When you drag this measure, what it will show? When you drag this measure, it will just show active relationship based on data. When you simply write a measure, sum of sales, it will give the data based on active relationship. It is giving sum of sales based on order date. I want sum of sales based on ship date. Just remove this. Remove this. So now I want sum of sales based on ship date. When I just write a measure like this, it will take the active relationship. It will give the sum of sales. I want to get the sum of sales based on inactive relationship this time. Select the table. Click on new measure. I want to get the sum of sales based on inactive relationship. Just right here. Sum of sales based on ship date. Sum of sales based on ship date. SD. I'm giving simply SD. So just what I need to do this time? Use calculate. I'll write the formula. Just observe what I'm doing. I'm asking to calculate. Why I am using calculate is I want to pass one filter condition. That is the reason I'm using calculate. I said that calculate is an important function, guys. Calculate. What I need to calculate? I need to calculate sum of sales. Sum of sales. I need to calculate sum of sales. And then what? Using what? So simply when you write calculate sum of sales, it will give the data. See, next argument is, see, this is mandatory. Expression is mandatory. In the calculate, expression is mandatory, but filter condition is optional. I'm ignoring filter condition here. You can even stop this. When you are not writing any filter condition, what it will do? It will give the complete data, guys. Even though when you give the name as sum of sales for ship date, it will do order date only. It will do order date only. What I'll do is here. So instead of this, I'll write the filter condition here. Just comma, write the filter condition. In the filter condition, I'll use a function called use relationship function. So I'll explain what it will do. In the use relationship function, you need to pass column 1 and column 2. So between date table and between orders table, I have inactive relationship, right? So which columns you used for inactive relationship, you need to write that columns. So I used ship date. You can write any column, ship date and date. Those are the inactive relationship columns. I need to mention them. So then what this formula will do is it will calculate sum of order sales based on this inactive relationship. This use relationship function will use the inactive relationship and it will calculate the values, guys. It will calculate the values. Let me go and write here. I can write any date, ship date first, and then second one is date. Ship date and dim date of date. Just close this. Close this. That's it, guys. That's it. This is the formula. This is the formula. Just press enter. When you run this formula, what it will do? So how to format this DAX code, guys? You can just go to DAX formatter and just you can format it over there. What it is doing, it is calculating sum of order sales and it is using use relationship function, guys. So while calculating sum of order sales, I'm asking to use a relationship between orders, ship date and dim date. This use relationship function will use this inactive relationship and it will calculate it. That is what we are doing here. Important function when you want to do this kind of experiments, guys. So whenever you need to get the values based on inactive relationship, we can use it. So this time it will show. This time I don't want to go and create a separate date table. I can just go here. I can drag the year column from date table now, and I can drag the measure which I calculated. When I drag this, it will show by default to active relationship data. So when I drag this, it will show inactive relationship data. Look at this, both are showing different values. Or else I can add both of them in one visual itself. I can even drag them here itself. So 2014, what are the orders was placed? What is the sales amount? What are the orders was placed? Shipped sales amount. In 2018, there is no orders was placed and there are some orders was shipped. You are showing the data perfectly correct here, right? This is use relationship function. Just keep in mind, in interview they'll ask you, so I want to calculate values based on inactive relationship. How can you calculate? You want to use a use relationship function. So when I delete it, will this formula work? You written this formula. Will this formula will work when I delete the inactive relationship here? Right click delete. When you delete this inactive relationship, this formula will not work. This formula become invalid. So use relationship. What are the columns you are going to pass? Between that columns, you need to have inactive relationship. Then only it can calculate. Then only it can calculate. First, have the inactive relationship. Then only the formula will work. Now it is working, and you got the output, guys. The next function I'll talk about is a filter function. So using filter function, you'll get a filtered table. Filter function is there. Filter function will provide a filtered table. Filtered table. The output is
right formula here. Use relationship formula. It is there.
What they are doing, man. Fine. So filter function used to get a filtered data, guys. A filter function is used to get a filtered table. So take an example. I have orders table. In the orders table, I have all the 4 regions data. But I want to create a table where I need to have only central region data. Central region data. So if you want to create a table, just go and click on new table. You can just click on new table. Whenever we need to create the table, click on new table. And I can give the table name as central orders. Central orders. Central orders. If you want to get the central orders, how to get it? So if you want to get the central orders, I can just write I can use a filter function. So filter function, it will returns a table that has been filtered. Filter function always returns a table that has been filtered. So which table data I need to filter? Just first argument is which table data? Orders table data I need to filter. Orders table data I need to filter. And what is the filter expression here? What is the filter condition here? So I want only central orders, region equal to central. Region equal to what? Central. Just close it. Orders table, region equal to central. Just press enter. So this time what it will do is it will create one table with 2 3 rows, and it will contain which region data? Only central region data. Whenever we need to get some filtered table, you can go with filter function, guys. You can go with filter function. There are some times where we are writing a measure, so we might need to, I want to calculate something. I want to calculate something, and that calculation need to done on filtered table. That calculation need to done on filtered table. That time we will use filter function, guys. There are some times we need to evaluate an expression by filtering the data in the table. So I want some filtered table. On that filtered table, I need to perform the calculation. How can you perform it? So just let me give an example here. I want to count I want to get the sum of sales where on a filtered table called region equal to central. So you can even write like this. So I want to count central region sum of sales. So I'm telling there are some cases where we cannot achieve the requirement with calculator. So where the filter function will use to get a filtered table. On the filtered table, I need to evaluate an expression. Evaluate an expression. Select this. Just let me give one example here. New measure. I want to calculate central sales. Central sales. You can even calculate like this. I can use a calculate, and I can write sum of sales. I want to write sum of sales here. Sum of sales, and this time I can use a filter function. What this filter function will do? I want to filter the data in the orders table, and what is the filter condition? Region equal to central. Region equal to central. First, what it will do is this filter function will create a filter table. It will intermediately it will create one table with central orders. On that central orders itself, it will do sum of sales. Look at this, press enter. So it will give a different number here. Let's go here. When I go and click on this, you are just getting 0.5 million here. 0.5 million. There are some cases where we cannot achieve some requirements with calculate. Then only you need to go to filter. So in calculate directly, when you write the filter condition, sometimes you will not get a output. For now, keep in mind, filter function is used to get a filtered table. So whenever you need any filtered table, separate table, so I just created a separate table with only central orders. You can just use filter function. In the same way, whenever you want a expression on a filtered table, you can even use a filter function. Here I'm calculating one expression. I'm calculating one expression here. In that expression, I'm calculating in a filtered table. In a filtered table, sometimes some conditions when you write on calculate, they might not work. Or filter, it will work. So just whenever it is required, keep in mind filter table will give the filtered table. It will filter the data. On that filtered data, I can perform some calculations. The next function you have is related function. Related function.
Unmuted.
There are some times where I need to perform the calculation like this. Let me bring EMP table, DEPT table. Click on Excel. Desktop is. See, you can download the PBX file and you can see all the formulas. From Power BI service, download the PBX file. And when you go to the tables, each formula you can find it. Click on open. And I am bringing EMP table, DEPT table, and managers table. This time my requirement is, I want to create one visual where I want to show the employees working in which department number. Create a visual to show. I want to create a visual using employee table. I want to show employee name and he's working for which department and what is his job. I don't want to show department number and job in two different columns. I don't want to show it. I want to show both of them in single column. So that means department number hyphen job. Department number hyphen job I need to see. So how can you get department number hyphen job here? In the EMP table, I want to get department number hyphen job. You can just click on new column. For every row I need one value. Click on new column. I want the column name as department number hyphen job. Department number hyphen job. What I can do is here, simply I can go and use department number column first. And what is the text concatenation operator? Ampersand. I need to concatenate with what? One hyphen and take one more ampersand job. Like this I can concatenate. When I concatenate, you will get a result, department number hyphen job. And I can use that. I can just use department number hyphen job. So here I am able to do that. So Adams belongs to which department, and in the department what he is, clerk. So now I'll delete this too. I'm showing this. Now second visual my client is asking to show is, create a visual to show employee name, department number, and in which location he is working. Department number and which location he is working. Location is available in which table? DEPT table. But when I show like this, my client is telling that, okay, I don't want to see like this. Can you show me department number hyphen location? Department number hyphen location. That means I need to concatenate department number column and location column. How can you concatenate? So click on new column. New column. This time what I need? Department number hyphen location, guys. Hyphen location. When I want department number hyphen location, what I can do? I can just write my formula here. Number column, department number column. So ampersand. I need to concatenate with what? Hyphen. So this will get department number hyphen, and I need to concatenate this with what? Location. When I type location, I'm not seeing it. When I type job, I'm able to see the job column here. When I type location, it will not show. Someone tell me why location is not showing? When I type location, location is not showing here.
Different table.
Yeah.
Not in the same table.
Columns can be created using same table. So if you want to derive some new column, we can use the columns from the same table and we can derive it. So by default, when you try to create any new column, to derive that new column, you can use only the columns which are in the table. Previously, I used department number from here, job from here. There is no issue for me. It shows here and location from where? Another table. So if you want to use the columns which are there in the another table, sometimes we need to derive some calculations by using the columns which are there in the another table. How can I show it? So how can I show it is, just go here. There is a function with the name related function, guys. Related function will help us to bring the columns from related tables. Returns a related value from another table. So you can bring related columns from another table. There is department name column in DEPT table. To the EMP table, there is a link between DEPT table. To the EMP table, there is a link to the manager table. It is showing all the columns from manager. It is showing all the columns from department name. You can select which column you want. I want which column now? Location column. This time, as soon as you write related to this EMP table, what are the tables that are related? The tables columns you can see. You can go and select which column you want. I just want a DNAME column here. I just want a location column here. This time it is showing. Just close this, press enter. You can see department number hyphen location. Now I can show it here. I can just go and drag this column here. Right? Whenever there is a requirement where you need to take the column from some other table and where you need to show it, then you can go with related function. So now when I go here, let me even copy this. When I go here, when I remove the relationship, will it work? So I'll go and remove the relationship between EMP table and DEPT table. Just right click on it, delete. When I delete the relationship, will that formula will work? When I go here, this formula is becoming invalid. Look at this, this formula become invalid. Related function must and should it need to have a relationship between EMP table and DEPT table. If you don't have it, it will not give. So if you want to get it, just go and establish the relationship here, department number and department number. As soon as you got the relationship here, will it show the data? Yes, it will show. So without relationship, when you want to get the output, there is a function called use relationship function. Sorry guys, lookup value function, lookup a value function. So both related function, lookup value function will do the same thing. Both related function and lookup value function will do the same thing. What is the extra thing is, keep in mind, both related and lookup value will do the same thing. It will get the columns from related tables. You can get some columns from another tables. In both the cases, you can get the columns from another tables. Related function need a relationship. Need a relationship between the table. Between the table. But lookup value function, it doesn't need a relationship. No need a relationship between the table. Let me show you. The same output, I can even get it using lookup value function. Let me click on new column. For every row I need a value. This time I'll use department number and location. This time using lookup value LV. I given the column name as LV, lookup value. Let me write formula. In the formula, I'll write first department number. I want it. Just go and click ampersand, and I want one space. I need to concatenate and take one more ampersand and department number. And then what I need? Department number. After that, what I need location. So if you want to get the location, if you have a relationship, best to go with related function. Related function. If when you don't have the relationship, then you can even use lookup value function. Let me go and write the formula in the second line so that I'll get more space. I'll go and use this time lookup ampersand. First you need to take ampersand and then lookup value function. So once you take lookup value function, what is the result column you need? Basically from DEPT table I need location column. Just go and write it. What is the result column you need? This time it will show all the tables. It will not only show the tables which are related. It will show central table, DEPT table, all the tables which are there. I want which column this time? Location column. And based on what you need to join. Okay, location column you need. Based on what you need to join. DEPT.department number equal to EMP.department number. You need to give that columns. Just go here. So I need department number column. Join condition is based on department number column and EMP department number column. EMP department number column. Look at this. What it will do is it will bring the location based on this condition. Department.department number equal to EMP.department number. Press enter. This lookup value function. Now it will give same result. Both are same. What is the advantage is even when you don't have the relationship, the lookup value function can give the value. Look at this. I don't have the relationship, but still lookup value function is working. But related function is not working here. Related function is not working here. Let me copy this. Right. If this need to work, 100% you need to have the relationship. There are some times where we need to perform the calculations by taking the columns from another table. So whenever we need to take the columns from another table, the functions you can use is either related function or either lookup value function. Lookup value function. The next one is, there is one more function with the name related table, guys. Related table. So they will ask you in the interview, what is the difference between related function and related table function? Common column is required, right? Without common column, how can you write the condition? Where is the meaning? If you don't have the common column, where is the meaning of getting the value? There is no meaning of getting the value. When you want to get related values, then only we need to use it. There is another function called related table function. So in interviews, they might ask you, what is the difference between related function and related table function? So let me explain in this way. So sometimes we need to derive a calculation in one side table. So whenever we need to derive a calculation from one side table by taking the columns from many side table, I want to take the column from many side table, I need to derive the calculation here. Whenever you need to take the column from many side table, whenever we need to derive a calculation here, we need to use related table function. Related table function. So sometimes we need to perform one calculation in many side table by taking the column from one side table. So previously I take location column. So it is from one side table. I need to use that location column in the many side table. So that time related will work. Whenever we need to derive the values in the many side table by using the columns from one side table, related will work. Many side table. So how can you tell that which table is many side? When you see star, that is many side table. When you see one, that is one side table. Whenever we need to derive a calculation in many side table by taking the columns from one side table, we will use related case. Related will work. In this case, related function will work. So whenever I need to derive some calculation in many side table by taking the columns from one side table, we'll use related. Look at this here. That is what we are doing here. So I'm deriving some calculation in one side table. Sorry, many side. This is EMP table is many side table, and I'm taking the column Newark from where? One side table. When you want to take the column from one side table, when you want to derive the calculation in many side table, I'm deriving the calculation in many side table by taking the column from one side table. That time related might work. So when you need to go with related table, take an example. I'm planning to derive some calculation in the DEPT table where I want to get each location, how much sum of salaries we are paying. Each location wise, how much sum of salaries we are paying. So I want to get a salary column from EMP table now. And I want to do the calculation. I want to get salary column from EMP table. I want to do the calculation here. This time you need to use related table function, guys. I need to calculate here. Click on a new column. I need to calculate in my table. I need for each location, I need sum of sales. So I will give some column name as sum of sales. I can use calculate function. I need to calculate what sum of sales. Sorry, sum of salaries. So, and you need to use here related table function. From which table you need to take it, and which table so for each location, from which table you need to bring the salaries. So a related table. So when I directly write it, so it might not work. I want to go to related table, and I need to mention the related table name as EMP here. EMP, just close the bracket. When I press enter, so it will give for accounting or Newark, we are paying a sum of salaries of 8750, like this. So whenever we need to derive some calculation in one side table by taking the columns from many side table, you can go with related table function, guys. So simple, just opposite way. So when we will go with related tables, whenever we need to derive a calculation in one side table, by taking the columns from many side table. We'll use related table function. Right. So now we'll discuss one thing about parameters in DAX, there is a concept called variables. Variables in DAX. I'll talk about variables now. So while you are writing the formulas, we can use variables also. Variables in DAX. Take an example. So here itself, let me show what is the advantages variables. So variables are used to show the results from DAX expression. When you write any DAX formulas, to store the result of the DAX formulas, we can use variables. We can use variables. I'll give you an example. A variable can be a hard-coded value. So a variable, I can create one variable v1, and you can hard code it. I can assign 1. So that means this variable v1 is containing what? A hard-coded value called 1. So a variable can be a hard-coded value or the result of complex DAX expression. So I can create a variable. Let me create another variable here, variable v2, and I can create sum of sales here. Sum of sales is a DAX expression. The result will be held in this variable. The result will be held in this variable. Variable are used to store the DAX expressions. That means this is DAX expression. This expression result it will store here in the variable. So what is the advantage? Variables can be used in any type of DAX calculations. So we will create columns, you can use variables. We'll create measures, you can use variables. You can create tables, we can use variables. So these are the 3 types of calculations you will perform. You can use variables anywhere. So advantage is code readability and performance. What is the advantage of variables is why we will create variables. So without variables also, you can get the output. But when you go with variables, the code readability, you will have code readability. So when you write a big formula, if someone come and see that formula, you can easily read the formula, what is happening there, you can understand it. Code readability means reading the DAX code easily, understanding what we written there. And performance, sometimes even that variables can help us performance. Let me explain this too. So how to create a variable is a keyword called var, and you can give the variable name and you can give the DAX expression. So var is the keyword to create a variable and variable name, and you can write an expression. This expression result will be stored in this variable. And you need to use return. If you want to use this variable, you need to start with return, and wherever you want to use, you can use that variable. Wherever you want, you can use that variable. Now, let me show you an example here. I want to get percentage of sales, guys. So yesterday, when I want to get percentage of sales, region-wise sales and percentage of sales, I derived it. How to get region-wise sum of sales and percentage of sales? Yesterday, to get the percentage of sales, I click on orders table. I created new measure, and in the new measure, I written the formula something like this: percentage of sales. I can write it. So I can write like this: percentage of sales, sum of sales, numerator I want. Instead of this, I can use this measure. That sum of sales is available in this measure. I can use this measure here. Instead of writing sum of sales, I can write I'll use one measure here, sum of sales, which I already created. This is my numerator, and denominator is I want all the sales, or else let me write here sum of sales. To make it clear, I'll write it here, sum of sales. I'm taking like this. This numerator will give that particular region sales. In the denominator, I want all the sales. Divide. Go and take divide function. This is my numerator. And in the denominator, I want all the sales. So you can even write like this, multiple lines, alt enter. Divide sum of, this is my numerator. And what is my denominator? So let me press enter. So I want to use calculate function. Calculate, I want to calculate sum of sales. Sum of sales. And this time for all the regions. All the regions. Or else just take all. To the all function, you can even pass the table, orders table. Just pass orders table, just close this like this. So what it will do? So divide function, and this is my next one is numerator. This is my numerator, and this is my denominator. It will give sum of sales, that particular region sales by all region sales. Press enter. You need to multiply this result with 100. So the best way is just drag it and you can select this, go to the measure tools, click on percentage. So when you write the code something like this, tomorrow when you come and see, sometimes reading and understanding what is happening here will take time. Reading and understanding what is happening here will take time, right? Let me format, copy. So reading and understanding might take time, right? Instead of that, what I can do is, so this same one I can even create with variables, and which will give a better readability, code readability. Let me show you. I'll create two variables here. Variable 1 with sum of sales, variable 2 with all sales. And I'll use both of them. So first, I'm going to show percentage of sales with variable now. Click on new measure. I'll calculate percentage of sales with variable. I'm just giving a name here, or as percentage sales V variable. So alt enter. So I want use divide. So first I'll create some variables. How can you start? What is the keyword, guys? var variable var, and give the variable name. So I want one region sales, a particular region sales. First variable name I am giving is region sales. If you want to get the region sales, you can just write sum, and you can use sales column. So this variable I can give in capital. This variable region sales will store this formula. This formula will give particular region sales, and I will go and create another variable. Second variable I'm going to create here is variable all region sales, all region sales, and the second variable name is all region sales. It need to hold what data? Calculate what? I need to calculate sum of sales. Then this time for what? All the values in the orders table. Take this, close this. Let me reduce the size. Let me close one more bracket here. So this variable will hold all the sales. Now this variable is having current region sales. This variable is having all the region sales. What I can do now? I can use them to get a percentage of sales. Alt enter. Whenever we need to use the variables, what you need to do? Return. You want to use return keyword, and then what you need to return, and I can write the formula here. I can use divide function. In the divide, what is the numerator? This formula is my numerator. I don't write this formula this time. I'll use this variable. I can write it as region sales. This is my numerator. What is your denominator? All region sales. Just type all region sales. Perfect. Just close this. That's it. So this time, see how easily I can read what I'm doing there. So first I'm creating one variable to store that particular region sales. Second, I'm creating one variable to store all the region sales. I'm using them in divide function. I got the percentage sales here. I can just multiply with 100, select this, go to the measure tools, click on percentage. So where you can now, when you share this formula with anyone, they can easily read it. They can understand in a better way. So when you share it, so it is a bit difficult to read it, bit difficult to understand it. Right? Variables here, the example which I explain is code readability. This is the code readability. So this is one advantage when you go and use. The second advantage I'm telling is it will give the performance. It will increase your performance. So how it will increase the performance? So there are here also I'm seeing. So if you want to show year-over-year growth, so I'm calculating current year sales. I'm calculating previous year sales. Previous year sales is this, and I'm using that current year sales and previous year sales in the formula. So when you create this with a variable, you can read them in a better way. When you directly write this formula without variable, it looks some difficult to understand. I will even explain in the coming class. So for now, you don't know what is current year sales and previous year sales. In time intelligence functions, I'll discuss this. There also I'll create one formula with variables so that you can understand how variables will help us for code readability. And this time I need to create one value Delivery speed I need to create, guys. Delivery speed. So was my order delivered quickly, or my order was normal delivery or late delivery? So I have a column called order date column and ship date column. I have order date column and ship date column. So I want to get one column, one output where delivery speed. So whether the order was quickly delivered. When the order is delivered within less than 2 days, less than or equal to 2 days, that means it got delivered quickly. When the order was delivered within less than or equal to 5 days, so it is normal delivery. When it is more than 5 days, late delivery. How can you get it? So I want to get a new column with the name. For every row I need one value. Select orders table, click on new column, guys. So I want to get delivery speed. Column name is delivery speed, something like this. I want to write the condition based on ship date minus order date. Delivery speed, how you will get? Ship date minus order date. Ship date minus order date, when you do it, you'll get delivery date. So I can write like this. First, when I write the condition, I want to take what? If ship date minus order date is less than or equal to 2, what output I want, what result I want. That means the order was delivered quickly. The order was delivered quickly. So, or else fast delivery. I'm just giving fast delivery. So comma, I want 2 more values. When I want 2 more values, I want to use one more if function. Let me take if to next line. I want to try, so I want to test 2 more conditions. I want to take one more if. Again, I will write ship date minus order date. Ship date minus order date. Again, ship date minus order date. This time it is less than or equal to 5. So I want normal delivery here. So last condition is late delivery. The last one is late delivery. Just close this, close the bracket, close all this. So now when I press enter, you will get it. So when it is a normal delivery, might be it got delivered within less than or equal to 5 days. You'll have 3 values here: fast delivery, late delivery, normal delivery. This formula will give, it will do order ship date minus order date within less than or equal to 2. If you have fast delivery, it will write. When ship date minus order date is less than or equal to 5, normal delivery, late delivery. So when in this formula, this calculation will execute multiple times. In the first if, when it is checking, it will execute this formula. In the second if, when it is checking, it will execute the formula. When it is executing the formula for 2 times, the performance will degrades. So every time when it need to check this condition, it need to execute this formula, it need to give the output. So for every row, this formula will execute, and even this formula will execute. Instead of this, the same code I can write with a variable. Delivery speed with variable. In a variable, I can hold how many days it takes. So how many days it takes. Ship date minus order date will hold how many days. And in the return, I can use this variable to write it. Every time I don't want to write this one, I can just use the variable which I created. So when you use this variable, it will not create here, it will not evaluate here. It will evaluate here, it will store the value, and this expression it will evaluate. So let me write with variable. So delivery speed with variable. Just select orders table, click on new column. For every row I need it. So first, Alt enter. I'll go to the second line. I'll create one variable first. Variable, and variable name is how many days it taken for delivering the product. I can give it as delta days. I can give any name equal to. This variable need to hold ship date minus order date. Ship date minus order date. So once it hold the ship date minus order date, I'll go and use this variable while writing my expression. So when you want to use the variable, you need to start with what? Return. Return. I want to return my code, not enter, guys. Just press enter, alt enter. So return what I want. I will use if condition. This time the logical test. I don't want to go and write order ship date minus orders order date again. I don't go and write it. What I'll do this time is just I'll use that variable, delta variable, which I created, delta days, I'll use. And when the delta days is less than or equal to 2, what you want in the output? What do you want in the output? What I given previously? Date. Quick delivery or fast delivery. Fast delivery. Fast delivery. And then, so I can use one more if. I want two more conditions, right? I will use one more if this time. Let me use one more if here. If. So I'll write this time again on the same condition, delta days. Delta days is less than or equal to 5. So what is this? Medium delivery. So, and else late delivery. So in all the cases, the output in the last case and now the output is same. Look at this. Or else medium delivery, normal delivery. Previously I used normal delivery. So in both the places, the output will be same. Normal delivery, fast delivery, late delivery, same. So only advantage here is it will not evaluate this in the previous formula. It will evaluate this formula one time here, second time here. Unnecessarily you are wasting your time. And this time I created one variable where I'm holding that value. I'm using that value to write these formulas. In these two ways, the variable will help us. For code readability, main purpose is code readability. Sometimes it will even improve your performance, your formula performance. This is all about variables, guys. Anybody have any questions? So let me conclude, guys. So
Unmuted.
categories of functions which we need to discuss. Just let me conclude.
Muted.
Two more categories of functions we need to discuss. The one category of functions is mathematical and statistical functions and time intelligence functions. Mathematical and statistical functions. So there is no class tomorrow and day after tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. So anyway, there are 2 days for you. I'll share one video with you, which will explain about mathematical and statistical functions. Go through that and try to understand what is this mathematical and statistical functions. In Monday's class, I'll talk about time intelligence functions. Important category of functions, time intelligence functions, I'll discuss on Monday's class. And we'll go with the questions now. Yes.
Unmuted.
Sunil, can we use the
variable also using 2 times in if set? What's the benefit on that?
Man, what you are understanding. Variable, it will not calculate the formula. So variable, first it will execute. It will get the values. It will take ship date minus order date. So let's assume ship date is some date, order date is some date. It will hold some value 5. So, and that 5 will be used. So 5 is less than or equal to true, false. You will not get it. 5 is less than or equal to 5, true, you will get it. So it will not execute this formula 2 times. It will execute this formula only 1 time. It will hold the data. But when you go here, this formula it will execute here once. And this same formula it will execute here second time. So to execute this formula 2 times here, it will take time. But in the variable, this formula will not execute 2 times. It will execute only 1 time. It will hold the data here. That data we are using in checking the conditions.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Sunil, can we use related and related table functions on many-to-many relation tables?
Many-to-many related tables, lookup value function will work. Related table will not work. So, see, related function will not work. Related table will work. Related function will not work. So lookup value function will work in that case.
Yeah. Thank you.
No. Variables are specific to that DAX calculation only. When you define any variables, that variables cannot be used in another DAX calculations. No. Only limited to that formula. See, yeah, I already shared them. DAX materials. In the DAX materials, you can find all these Word documents, text documents. Yeah, see, that is the reason. First itself, you want to create one folder and you want to create some subfolders, you need to keep them for referring module wise. So I'm giving the filter functions. Today also we discussed about filter functions, class 2. Yesterday is class 1. Today is class 2. And I'll publish it. Make a note, no Monday, and make a note, you'll get one video about mathematical and statistical functions. Please go through it. 7 a.m. May 2021 Power BI files I'm publishing there. Fine. So anybody have any questions before we stop for today? Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.
Hello.